More vaccines for more Hoosiers. You'll hear what the governor is saying now. Plus, the Senate taking up the president's American Rescue Plan. We'll hear from Senator Mike Braun, Congressman Jim Baird, and some Indiana advocacy groups pushing for more stimulus. Plus, Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett and Council Minority Leader Brian Mowry on the report reacting to last year's riots downtown. It's all ahead on this week's edition of In Focus. Good morning, everyone. I'm Bob Donaldson. This weekend, thousands of Hoosiers are being vaccinated across the state at a handful of mass vaccination clinics, including one that's been set up at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Governor Eric Holcomb got his vaccine at IMS Friday, along with other state officials. Our Alexa Green was there.
The governor says this is the way the Hoosier state is going to overcome the coronavirus. He's encouraging every Hoosier who is eligible to come get vaccinated. I want to step out of the way and show you this historic moment happening here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You can see drivers waiting in line patiently in their cars, waiting for that newly approved Johnson & Johnson vaccine. The governor in an IMS vehicle on the passenger side being driven by IMS President Doug Bowles. The governor was the first Hoosier to get vaccinated here at IMS, followed by Bowles. Both of them then spoke to the media after telling us what a historic and memorable moment this is.
This is easy peasy. It's free. And we want to encourage not just the 4,200 people here today, but we want to encourage every eligible Hoosier to get vaccinated. It's going to help us get through this.
Again, this is an amazing moment for Hoosiers. It's an amazing moment for the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The last year has been challenging for all of us. In the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, we've done what we could to be supportive, and we're excited to see thousands of people coming through the gates today.
Again, the clinic underway right now. Doors will close at 10 p.m. tonight, and when this is all said and done, by Monday night, nearly 17,000 Hoosiers will be vaccinated. At IMS, I'm Alexa Green.
Indiana educators also now able to sign up for the vaccine. Those who don't fall into the state's age-based or medical categories will go through a different process for a federal vaccine program. The State Teachers Association says the return to in-person class means teachers need to be a priority for vaccines.
Because when we have to quarantine, when we have to make any adaptations for how we provide instruction, that is a change for the student.
Teachers will need to sign up for an appointment on the individual websites of the participating pharmacies, not through the state or 211. Meantime, this week it was the Senate's turn to take up the president's relief bill, with more compromises being made when it comes to how many Americans will get a stimulus check. This week, we've been hearing from Indiana lawmakers and from local organizations that want to see that what will be signed into law. Our Dan Spieler joins us now with more. Dan?
Hi, Bob. Good to see you. I'll be back next week as Fox 59 and CBS 4 team up to bring you a special In Focus town hall, the path out of the pandemic. Obviously, this stimulus bill, a big topic of conversation. We've been hearing from Indiana advocacy groups that say this bill will help in a number of ways, and also from Republican lawmakers who say they're worried about the size and scope of the bill.
Because there's so much stuff in there that is not getting enough coverage, that is totally unrelated to COVID. And the more I look at it, it's stuff that you'd never dare bring forward in an individual freestanding bill. None of it's going through committee. And I know there's general popularity across the country, even among Republicans, but that's mostly for stimulus checks and extended unemployment benefits and maybe some other things. But I think if we flesh it out, there's going to be a lot of people scratching their head how you can call it a COVID relief bill.
That it's really kind of irrational and irresponsible. We've approved, what, $4 trillion already? There's still $1 trillion of that left. So there's 25% that we still haven't allocated. And now we're wanting to add almost another $2 trillion. So I'm concerned about American taxpayers, and I'm concerned about the people in our district that are having a hard enough time trying to survive the pandemic.
What we've heard from families is that they're experiencing a lot of hardship, and some of it are folks from accommodations and food service and retail trade who've lost jobs, but some of it are folks that are on fixed incomes or adults on SSI, Social Security disability who haven't lost income, but they're feeling the burden of increased costs with food and healthcare and some of those strains. So we are hopeful that this rescue plan will get passed and that we will be able to support families in Indiana that are really struggling right now.
And Bob, we will continue that conversation during our town hall coming up Wednesday night and on next week's edition of In Focus, as President Biden hopes to get this bill signed into law by next Sunday when a number of previous federal benefits expire. Bob, back to you.
All right, Dan, thank you very much. As Dan mentioned, we want to take your questions straight to Indiana lawmakers as part of that special report, In Focus, Path Out of the Pandemic. It airs this coming Wednesday, March 10th at 7 p.m. on CBS 4 and Fox 59. Go to cbs4indy.com/questions or fox59.com/questions to ask our lawmakers about the pandemic, the stimulus bill, and other big issues in Congress. The White House is still looking to raise the minimum wage. This comes 1 week after the Senate parliamentarian ruled it couldn't be in the COVID relief bill. Our Kayla Sullivan digs into more about how this could impact Hoosiers.
When it comes to raising minimum wage, experts say the proposed amount can make all the difference.
It lifts people out of poverty. And so we really do have a beneficial impact for a significant number of households.
Kyle Anderson, an economist at IU's Kelley School of Business in Indianapolis, says overall, raising the minimum wage is good for the economy if it's small increases. The federal government wants $15 per hour, which more than doubles the current $7.25 standard. He isn't sure what that large of an increase would do.
I would urge caution among policymakers to take that big of a jump. So whatever we do, I think it should be phased in and a little more gradual.
The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimates a $15 minimum wage would lead to the loss of 1.4 million jobs by 2025 in the U.S.
This will serve to further accelerate automation and eliminate those low-skilled jobs.
Indiana Chamber of Commerce President Kevin Brinegar says minimum wage jobs aren't considered living wage jobs.
They're stepping stones. They're, college students working to earn money for college.
He isn't necessarily against increasing the minimum wage. He just thinks the number needs to make sense.
The current federal minimum wage, which Indiana's minimum wage is tied to, has not been raised for a number of years. And so it's fair to say that it's time to take a look.
Minimum wage proposals in the Indiana State House didn't get a hearing this session, but Democrats say they'll continue fighting. Experts think a federal increase has a better shot than a state proposal. From the Indiana State House, I'm Kayla Sullivan.
Coming up next on In Focus, some states are ending their mask mandates, and one Indiana congressman thinks we should too. Plus, we'll talk with our panel about Indiana Senator Todd Young, who announced his run for re-election this past week.